I hate to say this. Kawhi Leonard wants out of San Antonio.
Kawhi Leonard has made it clear that he wants out of San Antonio, and according to Chris Sheridan of GetMoreSports.com, he won't be staying in the West.
Kawhi Leonard wants to be a Laker, will dictate terms, wants out of San Antonio.
Kawhi wants out of San Antonio, at least sources telling ESPN's Chris Haynes. According to sources, Leonard has grown frustrated with how the organization handled his quad injury and feels the franchise turned on him.
You're the face of the most stable franchise in the NBA over the last 15 years. What the hell are you doing?
Kawhi Leonard, if you're listening, here's the deal. Do me a favor. Stop. Just stop it. You want to go to Los Angeles. That's it. I am so sick and tired of folks walking around. I mean, just no heart. No heart. What are you scared about? What are you scared about? Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to be in San Antonio anymore. The Riverwalk is not enough for him. He prefers Rodeo and Melrose and Wilshire and Venice Beach. That's what he prefers. LA Live, downtown, Staples Center. That's what he prefers. He doesn't care that there's no state income taxes in Texas. He wants out because he wants to be in LA. You don't have to sit up there.
What's good, NBA fans? Zachariah Bashir on the mic. And unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Kawhi Leonard wants out of San Antonio. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Most of us basketball heads saw this day coming where Kawhi Leonard would eventually want out of San Antonio, being that it's been brewing for over the past couple of months leading up to this offseason. But we never imagined him leaving in this fashion. The news leaked out by Chris Haynes via Twitter and caught everyone by surprise when it actually happened. It's pretty alarming due to the fact that the Spurs are the model organization of the NBA with a long track record of player and team success and buying into the Spurs culture. But to see a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champ, and NBA Finals MVP not wanting to play for one of the best organizations is a cause for concern. All of this began when Kawhi was out for the majority of the season, only playing 9 games due to a quad injury that many thought was a relative minor injury considering that his teammate Tony Parker had a similar injury. This then bloomed into a scandal when Kawhi ultimately got a second opinion about his injury, and the Spurs weren't too fond of his decision, being that the team's medical staff cleared him to play and they were trying to make a late push to compete in the playoffs. His teammates and the media were questioning the legitimacy of his injury to the point where he became fed up with the organization and lo and behold, demanded a trade. Kawhi has made it very clear that he wants to be a Laker. He sees the landscape of the league and knows that the roster they have in San Antonio isn't enough to compete for titles for years to come. Most of their key players are up there in age, and San Antonio isn't a free agent destination that would attract top talent to come to compete for a title. With him being in his last year of his contract, he wants the Spurs to trade him now so they can get something in return, or just let him walk in free agency for nothing. The Lakers are still actively pursuing Kawhi, but the Spurs' asking price may be a bit too much for their liking. The Spurs will want Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, and 2 first-round picks from the Lakers. The Lakers have already come out and stated that Kyle Kuzma is untouchable and they won't be giving up 2 first-round picks for Kawhi. Everything else is up for grabs. Aside from the Lakers, there are a few other teams that Spurs have engaged with recently. The Cavaliers were in trade talks with the Spurs to acquire Kevin Love, Colin Sexton, Kyle Korver, Larry Nance Jr., and a future 2021 pick for Kawhi Leonard and Pau Gasol in return, in which of course the Spurs shot down for obvious reasons. Korver would be a nice addition to the team, but they already have a point guard for the future in DeJounte Murray and already have an all-star power forward in LaMarcus Aldridge. So the trade wouldn't benefit the Spurs at all. The Philadelphia 76ers have been in talks to get their hands on Kawhi and put together a very solid trade. The trade would include Robert Covington, Dario Saric, Jared Bayless, and Miami Heat's unprotected 2021 first-round pick. The Sixers are well aware that Kawhi Leonard has made it known that he will be a Laker regardless of his current circumstances, but the organization plans to lure him into their winning culture, being that they will compete for Eastern Conference Finals, hopefully beat the Boston Celtics, and have a competitive series against either the Warriors or the Rockets. It's possible for Kawhi Leonard to stay in Philly if traded, but I believe that he would have to at least verbally commit to staying there first before the Sixers give up any parts of their future on taking a chance on Kawhi. The Boston Celtics have also entered the play-in field, being that they have the best trade package for the Spurs. The Spurs ultimately want Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and the future first-round picks. The Spurs would get a bona fide stud and budding star in Jason Tatum and a top 5 point guard in Kyrie Irving, while the Celtics would obtain the top 3 player in Kawhi on an expiring deal in hopes to compete for a title. But when you really think about the logistics of the trade, you will come to the realization that the Boston Celtics would never make this trade happen. They would offer Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris, and maybe a few picks. They don't want to give up anything for a 1-year rental that they could in theory lose Kyrie and Kawhi in the same year for nothing. And if you're the Spurs, you can't make a swap for Kyrie because he will want to play in San Antonio with Kawhi. And if he's not there, you lose out on both of your guys. So in the end, it would be a lose-lose situation for both parties involved. With free agency being the talk of the town, Kawhi Leonard could ultimately shape the balance of power in the NBA. On the first day of free agency, we saw Paul George to stay with the Thunder on a 3-year, $137 million deal. It seems rather odd considering that he told the Pacers to trade him because he wanted to be a Laker and he didn't want to leave the franchise without getting something in return, which led him to leave $220 million on the table to play in OKC with Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony, and didn't even give the Lakers a formal meeting. Then the biggest news in sports, LeBron James is now a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. A move that I inevitably saw coming, but I didn't want to believe. Apparently LeBron looks to grow his brand and establish himself as more than a basketball player. He was the first domino to fall to the Lakers in their hopes of acquiring talent to come play with him in LA. Knowing LeBron, he didn't come to just play with ancillary parts and young budding stars. Magic will work tirelessly to lure free agents to come play in LA in hopes to form a super team to dethrone the Warriors and bring life to Lakerland. As it stands right now, the Lakers are the front runners to land Kawhi Leonard, and reports have came out stating that he and LeBron have discussed playing together, knowing that they have a chance to wreck the league. The Lakers will have 2 of the top 3 players on their team, and both of these players have proven that they are more than enough to beat the Warriors. But after the recent acquisitions of the Warriors getting DeMarcus Cousins on a minimum deal, makes the task that much tougher to overcome. I trust what Magic says that this is a 2-year process, and with his recent signings of getting veteran players on 1-year deals, I feel as though he's trying to take a step in the right direction to build around LeBron. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications because I will be bringing more content to this channel. Until then, this is Zachariah Bashir, signing out. Peace.